But right now, brought to you by Ford and your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. Let's talk with Dallas Cowboys Executive Vice President Stephen Jones. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, guys.
When you look at the kind of up and down nature of the team's run defense thus far this season, do you think that it's injuries at play, or is it just kind of a varying level of execution from week to week?
I would probably say the latter. I mean, obviously, the injuries don't help your situation when you're trying to be more consistent and execute on a high level. Obviously, we were missing, and nobody's complaining, our three safeties. We lost our fifth one, halfway through the game. But, that everybody deals with that, and we have to work through that. And, the bigger thing is I'd start with giving, Denver a lot of credit. I mean, Sean's got a great offensive mind, and he looked at the tape against Washington, and they had some good things, that caused us problems, and we've got to continue to come up with solutions that are going to fit our personnel the best right now while we're getting healthy. Obviously, we got guys that are going to be coming back, whether it's Dono or Hooker or Wanye or Overshone or any of these guys that could certainly help us. But in the meantime, we've got to, do a better job. We're not getting the job done. We know we're not getting it done. You are what you are. And certainly, right now we're ranked 32nd in defense in the league. And we've got to be better than that if we want to give ourselves opportunity to win games. Obviously, that was a tough environment. Their defense played really well. It's a hostile crowd there, and we didn't play as well as we think we can play on offense. And certainly our defensive play, we weren't able to go toe-to-toe with them. So certainly the performance was disappointing at best.
Is there, especially when you use the term toe-to-toe, is there anything in particular, whether it's getting more pressure on the quarterback, whether it's cutting down on the big plays, is there anything in particular that you look at as you're like, that's the linchpin to this defense perhaps playing better?
Yeah, I think there's some things we're looking at. Obviously, we want right to work on it. And, I think most of our depths in our defensive line, and we got to look at some options there. I think stopping the run is a big thing, and you said it best to start the show. We're not doing a good job. We've been inconsistent at best, and you got to start. We need to stop that run, and we're looking at some options there, and see what we can do. But it is the full body of work at the end of the day, and we've got to do everything better than what we're getting done right now.
Those options that you're kind of looking at, are you looking at the defensive tackle spot, defensive end spot? What would be the one you like the most there?
I just think it's all the all the above.
Okay.
We've got to get up there and give ourselves an opportunity, and a lot of this is fits, and the safeties are involved in the fits, and we've got to one time I think we had our nickel cornerback there playing safety, so we've just got to get in here and roll up our sleeves and go back to work and improve.
And I know I asked you this similar question 2 weeks ago, but I think it helps shape y'all's philosophy and helps inform the audience. When you say that, it is because you still believe this team has the makings of a team that could make it to the playoffs, yes?
Absolutely. I mean, we're going to continue to grind it. I think, offensively, we've got the pieces there. To be an outstanding team, and we've got to continue to look at the ways that we can improve this defense and, make some stops. And if we can get some stops, then, I think our offense will play well. They've played well all year. Like I said, we had some unfortunate turnovers. We lost the turnover battle, which isn't, that certainly doesn't lead to winning the football game. So we got to be better there. But you also got to give Denver credit. They've got a really good defense. They lead the league in sacks. Obviously, they got a lot of pressure on Dak yesterday, and we have to be better.
Stephen, I think it was Jerry told us a couple weeks ago last week that the Washington game wasn't necessarily the thing that would make any decisions there. A couple of times we use the word rewarding your team by adding a player that could help put you over the top, like in a big trade or something like that. What would be a good measuring point, a good place that you would go, okay, I do need to reward this team because they did that for us?
Yeah, I think we're always, one thing that I think people don't understand is we work every year, especially as you roll down to the trade deadline. We make every call. We talk to all 31 teams and see if there's, options there that make sense for us that would be the right thing to do. And if that opportunity presents itself, which we're looking at options right now, and we'll decide if we think, that's the best option for us at the moment. And but that's every year. We're always looking for ways to improve our team. Obviously, this trade deadline comes early in the NFL, and certainly we have to take a long, hard look at that and see if the right opportunity's there.
I don't suppose you can give us any more insight about specifics on what you're looking at, right?
No, we can't do that.
Or the teams you've called?
Worth
no.
Okay. All right.
Worth a shot. Now, you go back to yesterday's game, and I know the issues that we've already talked about with the defense, but the false start on the first offensive drive and then James Houston being offsides, those two plays right there could have swung the balance of the game 11 points. It's not just the number of penalties. It felt like those two specifically. Did you feel like they changed the trajectory of that game?
Yeah, I think Coach Schottenheimer always addresses that. The pre-snaps are unacceptable. We have to be better than that. Our players got to be better than that. And those are all things we can do something about in terms of being more disciplined. And, you're correct. They certainly were huge penalties. We got a 3-and-out there. If Houston's heads not across the ball, and certainly, the motion we had there, when we're at the half-yard line, that hurts. When you're on the road, you got to get your touchdowns, and especially, where we are right now with this team, we got to maximize our points and maximize our possessions. But you make good points on all the above. We didn't play well enough to win the game yesterday. You got to start with giving Denver credit. But we got to go. Everybody's got to look in the mirror and see where they can be better.
Now, absolutely, Denver deserves credit, and they are up to 6-2. On the flip side, I know Parcells would always say you are what your record is. Is there any concern for you or the organization that if you look inside this team's record just a little bit, the teams that y'all have beaten are now a combined 6-17?
Mm-hmm. No, I don't look at that in terms of the teams we've beaten, the teams we've tied, the teams we've, at the end of the day, we're 3-4-1, and that's what we are. We have to be better than that. That's not going to get us in the playoffs. So we've all obviously got to change the narrative there. And as I said, it all starts, had one of our top players say, we all got to look in the mirror. And that starts at the top and goes from our executives to our personnel people to our coaching staff to our players. We all have to be better.
I'm glad you said that, too, because it starts at the Shotty said yesterday after the game that his play calling wasn't good enough, and he mentioned that multiple times. Do you feel like he was kind of falling on the sword there, or do you feel like you kind of got the same vibe that his play calling wasn't at its best yesterday?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into the details of each individual person. We all have to be better, and certainly he made that statement as well. And whether it's Jerry, whether it's myself, whether it's Will McClay and his staff, whether it's Shotty and his staff, or our players, we have to be better.
Jaden Blue yesterday had a couple of flashes. He had the 14-yard run. He also had the fumble. What kind of gauge are you getting on what Blue is and the opportunities he earns and deserves?
Yep, good point. He's a young player that I think has tremendous upside, as everybody's seen. It flashes, and but at the same time, he's got to be more consistent himself. And certainly the fumble didn't end up hurting us, but he's got to clean those type of things up. at the same time, you see the juice that he has and the explosion that he can bring. But he's a young player that I think is just going to continue to get better. But, it's got to start today. He's got to, just like the rest of us, we all got to, get to work.
How do you monitor the progress of Wanye Thomas? Because I know he's had issues with migraines. What's the level of concern for him?
Well, it's just it's like any medical thing. You're looking for the answers. His is not a clear-cut situation. We've run a lot of tests on him in terms of his concussions, and our thought process is hopefully this thing clears up and he can continue to help us, because certainly we miss him. You miss Hooker, you miss Dono, you miss those guys. The guys we were counting on when the season started, but that's part of the NFL. Every team goes through this. That's the nature of our game, and we've got to continue to push forward with the guys who are available, and hopefully the guys who aren't will be available sooner than later.
Then that question obviously stands for Trevon Diggs. Do you feel like he can still contribute to this team once his injured reserve time is up?
Yes, I think he very well can. We felt like this was in his best interest. As you know, he's been on and off injury reports all year with his knee and, the condition of one of his knees, and certainly the concussion. He still hadn't cleared protocol yet there, and we just felt like, it was in his best interest, our best interest, for him to just get well. I think that's the number one thing with him, and then hopefully the rest will follow. But now he'll get the opportunity to do that without the pressure of the week to week, or of are you going to play or not.
Did Trevon Diggs hold the same opinion that this was in his best interest?
Yeah, we won't get into all the private conversations that we have internally.
Do you, that might be the answer to this one as well. Do you feel as though there are lingering issues between Trevon and the club?
Same answer. I mean, we have ongoing dialogue with players all the time, pretty much for the most part with all of them. And, we don't share that dialogue.
Does Joe Milton throw the prettiest deep ball in the NFL?
I tell you what, he's a gifted guy, and certainly, the pass to JT and great work by JT as well. Certainly good to see Joe go out there and have some success, and JT execute on his behalf.
There's one other player I forgot to ask about. How y'all feeling about the progression back of Cooper Beebe? I know he wasn't able to play this weekend, but how are y'all feeling about how he's coming along?
Yeah, I think this week will be the week. He was real close. It was his first week of practice after coming off that injury, and we just felt like he wasn't quite there and couldn't play at a level, that he expected to play at, or that would be in his best interest to activate him last week. But he was so close, and believe this will be the week.
Appreciate the time as always, good sir. We'll catch you next Monday.
Thank you, guys.